It's about 1 hour till game time here at the Nito and Mariana Cobain Arena and Conference Center. The High Point University Panthers are set to host the Guilford College Quakers. The Panthers just came off a massive win against their rivals Elon University, and they hope to ride this momentum into Big South Conference play. The HPU track and field teams are off to a hot start, winning their first outdoor championship this year. Since the fall semester began, the opening of the Cobain Center was the talk of the campus. However, the arena wasn't the only new addition to HPU's athletic facilities, as the baseball field is undergoing a renovation of its own. Ben Membrino has more on the story. For the 2022 season, the game of the year will be played right here at Vert Stadium, where the High Point University Panthers are set to host the Duke Blue Devils, ranked third in the nation in 2021, on March 1st. The Blue Devils did get the best of the Panthers in the 2021 season, but High Point has taken down Duke in the past, most recently in 2019. Who will come out on top this year? Tune in to find out. After a record-setting season, the High Point University Panthers women's basketball team rose to the top of the Big South, punching their ticket to the NCAA tournament for the first time in program history. Despite this incredible season, very few people know about this story and others like it in women's athletics. Only 3.2% of media coverage is devoted to women's sports, and the men's stories in newspapers outnumbered women's 23-1. Why is this the case?
The coverage is still not equal, at all. I mean, you have as far as advertising and the games and the commercials about games coming up, I rarely see a WNBA game coming on or anything like that. It's always NBA or NFL. It's never any women's sports. And then the men, they're always playing on ESPN or the mainstream channels, and then the women are on other channels that most people don't have.
Sometimes it is hard to break out of that traditional model, because with the newspaper story, if we're covering, with high school games, there's a girls' game first and then a boys' game second. A lot of times it ends up being the boys' game is kind of the highlight one and the girls' one is second, because you just have to choose one.
There's a clear divide in the airtime between men's and women's sports. Much more time is spent talking about male athletes than female athletes, but there have been some significant steps to improve this inequality. Women's sports are trending up, and some events are gaining popularity and more attention from mainstream media, such as the Women's NCAA March Madness Tournament and the Women's World Cup.
I think, especially with the national tournament, I think it made a lot of steps in the right direction, just with the viewership and the clicks on social media and stuff like that. And I think when you put women's basketball on the big screen, it gives us a voice, number one, to get to show us or show the world what we can do, because a lot of people don't usually get to see it. People use the excuse of not being able to afford to show it on the national television channels, but I mean, once again, this year's tournament, I think, just totally throws that excuse out the window.
I think people are starting to finally realize that the female athletes, they are just as competitive as the male athletes. I think their sports are just as fun to watch. And I think just a lot, also I think with social media, people are seeing big highlights on there, so it makes them be like, oh, I can tune into this and be entertained with it as well.
I guess recognizing female athletes, it's not just female athletes, just as athletes, period. I feel too often when you talk about men's sports, they're athletes, they're not men athletes. But women's, they're female athletes. But I think altogether we're athletes. We're all equal, really.
As the situation becomes easier to tackle, athletes and journalists are working to make a difference for the future.
I think I just want to continue to be a voice for it. It's something that we're all getting the opportunity to do, just like all the major men's teams do. We're getting our school paid for, and we're playing a sport that we enjoy and love. But I mean, I think I just want to use it to continue to have a voice and be a voice, whether it's for sports, women's sports, or if it's different social justice issues, things like that. I just want to be able to have a voice and help other people feel like they have a voice.
The future looks bright for women, especially as their collegiate and international sports are growing in popularity. As more sports networks and news outlets cover women's sports, interest in them will grow, and eventually women's athletics will become a staple in mainstream media. There's nowhere to go but up. Located on Albion Street, Kid Casso Art Studio offers art classes and activities for children of all ages, allowing them to create works of art and express their creativity across different mediums. The studio offers classes from high chair to high school, all tailored to each age group's needs and wants in the creative process.
So we run programming throughout the school year, and those are our signature classes. So children come to us once a week for their class time and class day. And then for children that want more or want something different, we offer a program called Camp Casso, and that's our summer kids camp program. A little bit more craft-based and kind of old school arts that we all remember, nostalgic from our childhood. So we try to balance some of the fun crafting with some of the higher fine arts components, and the higher components are found in our signature classes.
Homes of their customers with virtual classes and activities, making sure that their ambitions were not slowed by the COVID-19 lockdown. The studio believes in self-discovery and growth through art, firmly rooted in its ability to change lives. By empowering their creativity and strengthening their connection to art, Kid Casso prepares students for their lives in more ways than one.
The truth is, what you see on social media from me and my staff is what you're getting when you walk in the door. You're getting a family. You're getting somebody who's gonna, help dry the tears, hold hands, congratulate you when there's a new baby in the family, or, help and give you a hug when you've lost somebody close to you. Not only do I work with my sister, she's one of my teachers here, but our other staff, I look at them not as staff members, but they're part of our extended family for sure. And our children that we teach and come in every single week, they're part of that bigger picture. So I think that's why people choose Kid Casso. I mean, we've got a great product, we've got great art, our Play Casso shop has been amazing, but I think people keep coming back to us for that family connection.
From WCAT, this is Andrew MacBeath, bringing you a Wakefield highlight.